Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's 6 in the morning and I just woke up, so it sounds and it looks like I just got out of bed because I actually did. But we're gonna go ahead and start working on a 350Z. Let me go ahead and show you the parts really quick that we're gonna be working with. This one is actually gonna be really sick because he has a trunk setup just like mine that I'm going to be installing on his car. Let me show you what it looks like, and also where you can get it from if you guys are interested in doing this, because I did make a video on it before. A lot of you guys were interested in it and wanted to get something like this, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do for a 350Z in this situation. So let's go ahead and look at the trunk setup. Alright, so here is the trunk setup right here, what we're going to be installing, and as you guys can see, it has a really sick and dope design. What this is a like an epoxy coating on top of like a concrete backing board. And he calls it little like circles, craters, and it makes it look really sick. Kind of makes it look like a wave and an ocean as well. And this is my homie's at on Instagram. You can go ahead and hit him up if you want something like this. Kill all egos. All he requests of you is to go ahead and ensure you cut the board itself. So when you take it to him, all he has to do is apply the epoxy coating on top of it to make it look really, really sick. So it has a lot of glitter in it. See if I can turn my flashlight on. Ah, there you go. Sheesh. You can see all that right there. So as you guys can see, it's really sick. It's not just like color. It has a lot of pearl, glitter, whatever you want to call it. It looks really sick and it stands out. And so make your trunk setup stand out as well. Now, the goal with this is we want to go ahead and place the tank, which he actually had wrapped a like glittery pearl silver color, which looks really sick. And our goal is to go ahead and place it right in this middle area right here. But I didn't want to do it until I got the car because I wanted to measure it all out and make sure it was 100% even and doesn't look off. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do all the wiring first, make sure that's ran through. And then I'll start working on the airbag so I can start installing this onto the car. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll work on the 350Z and then I'll keep you guys updated as I go. Alright, so here is the 350Z. It's early in the morning, so I don't want to be talking super loud. But it looks really sick. It's really close to the tire already. So, I mean, I won't have an issue lifting it up because I have a low profile jack. He has like a very clean cream color on it. That's more like a beige sand color. He has some dope and sick carbon fiber parts in the front. He has the carbon fiber fenders from, I believe it's Fly One Motorsports, and then a carbon fiber hood. I can't remember what version this is, but it is an HR hood because it has that bump in the front. That's usually how you know or you can tell if a car is an HR, unless of course they swapped it out for an HR hood. It's an HR engine and not a DE. But yeah, it's looking really sick. I've actually seen these wheels before, and I could be wrong, but I think these were on a 370Z. But this one is really sick. It's really clean. Look at the headlights. Look how clean those are. You can see every detail inside of those headlights right there. Now that's a very sick build. He won't have any issues with clearing. As you can see, it's already like tucking right there. So once he airs out, it'll tuck all the way inside. As where mine, you can see that mine sticks out significantly right there, and as soon as I air out, it tucks in as well. It might poke out right now, but if you look at like my ride height right now in comparison to his, it's a small difference, and mine sticks out still a little bit more. Alright, so right now what we're gonna do is, because this car has two compressors, there's going to be two black, two red, and there's gonna be one airline that we're gonna run to that side over there, going up into right there on the inside of the car, and it's gonna go all the way to the front. So we have to grab all these connections. I'm gonna take them up, that way they're together, they don't split up. And then right here you can see there's an airline. Here's the other connection right there. That is for the second compressor, and that's the main harness. There's a little black bracket right there. You're gonna run it through there, and then you're gonna see it pop up in the back over here, and then you want to grab it and run it through that side over here, and then run it to the back. Alright, so we went ahead and pulled the wires up here. As you can see, they're now on the front. So we have the airline and the two main wires. And then right here, I just grabbed it, pulled it from the top
kind of already put it back together, which I shouldn't have, but I work pretty fast. So so right there's a wire. I just put my hand in there, pull the wires, ran them down. See if I can turn my flashlight on to show you guys. So right there you can see them. There's that one right there, that black wire going all the way down, and then it goes in here. And then what you want to do is you want to remove the plastic piece that's right here, which is this, and then you're going to lift this up. The best way to do this is to grab it from right here, pull it forward, and lift up, and then it'll release it from these clips right here. You're just going to tuck it in there, hold all the way down, remove that plastic piece. You're going to push a wire through a hole right here, and then you're going to see the wire down here. You're going to wrap it around the other wires, that way you can pull it up, and that's it. It's really easy. But other than that, that's pretty much it when it comes to this side. We'll do the other side right now as well. So I just finished up running all the wiring. I haven't like fully connected everything yet. I don't really do that until the end, until I have the bags on and I'm ready to go ahead and turn it on. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the car, see how it sounds. We're going to move the 350Z inside the garage and put the 370Z outside. This one also has a carbon fiber steering wheel, which I've seen now like about 3 times. Honestly, it makes me want to get one. They look really sick. It changes the interior look of the car and how it like feels, you know, having like a sportier steering wheel is really sick. The motor sounds really healthy as well. When I turned it on, didn't have like any hesitation. Idling really good. No weird sounds, so it's a really clean 350Z. He does have a bumper on, but he didn't want to put it on because he didn't want to get rock chips on it, which is understandable. You know, you wouldn't want to get rock chips on your bumper either. So I'll most likely throw in some pics once he throws his bumper on. But as of right now, everything is ran. I have the pink wire and a line over there on the other side. But I have to actually remove the battery right here to be able to run the air line down there. Right now, we're going to go ahead and work on the bags so I can get those installed. Once that is done, then I'm going to go ahead and start connecting and working on the trunk setup. Like right now, everything is around right here. You have the 2 lines right there that we're going to connect like right here to those fittings that we're going to add. And then on top of that, we're going to have to go ahead and run these like on the side right here. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a hole yet on the board itself. I'm going to go ahead and actually run it through like the side so it sticks in the middle. But the reason I wanted to go ahead and install this first onto the 350Z is so I can make sure that everything's going to fit properly before I start making my holes. Because I mean, you don't want to have a really dope setup like this and then you make a hole in the wrong place and now you're going to have a hole which is going to look really ugly. I would like to make sure that, you know, I measure 20 times instead of measuring once and then messing up and making his stuff look like crap. But yeah, let's go ahead and throw this in the car so I can show you guys what it's going to look like right now and the idea and what the plan is with the trunk setup. Alright, so here's everything thrown in here, and honestly, both of my boys did an amazing job getting this done. So my homie, the one that I'm working on his car, he's the one that actually cut it out, and he did an amazing job making sure that, you know, everything fits perfect, and it really does. Look at how close everything is to each other. Gives it some character, and I'm in love with it. Honestly, it looks really, really sick. What I would have to do is I would have to technically connect everything in the middle and make sure that the tank fits. So if I push the tank too far back, if you could imagine, it would hit this part right here, and then it's not gonna fit properly. So I have to make sure that where I drill my holes are exactly where they should be at. So when I throw the compressor and when I throw the tank in here, it all fits. So I wanted to make sure I did this right the first time. So let me show you the tank. So the tank will sit in here, right? Now, as you can see, if you push it too far back, it's already hitting that part right there, and you can't push it any further than that. So the tank would have to sit somewhere like in this area right here, so it's not too far back and it's hitting this right here. Okay, so it does fit, but it's gonna be a tight fit, as you can see right there. So then you have this plate that he purchased, and it's gonna go right here. I was thinking about putting it like right there so it's visible, you know, because if you put it too far in front, you can't really see it. So I'd rather have it like right here. And the good thing is that he purchased these smaller lines, so the smaller lines are a little bit more easier to move around, so it's easier to like curve them like that, as where the 3/8 lines, it's thicker, so like it doesn't curve as easy as the other ones. Just keep that in mind, so it's easier to be able to run his lines right here. Now let me look for his fittings. So he's gonna have them like this, going all the way down, and we're gonna measure it out to make sure that's completely even, that way it's not like off-centered, but essentially we would be looking at something like that. All right, so here's where we are at right now with the trunk setup. I've made the holes for the tank already up here, that way it can mount up. I did find a problem. I ran into an issue actually when trying to install the tank while this was mounted, and because it's so close to the back part of this and the board is so long, I actually have to install the tank while the board is in there and then install it on top, because when I try to put it in there, it's too long, so it hits the bottom, so it doesn't like slant up, and it hits the bottom surface and doesn't allow me to move it in. So I will have to install a tank while the board is actually in there, and it's going to be a little bit harder, but it's something that we have to do in order for it to fit properly and fit really good in there, have enough space for the compressors and everything. But right now we are working on making the holes for those up there. As you can see, I removed them, put them up there, and then right now I'm pretty much making it as straight as possible so it looks really nice and clean and even, and allowing enough space between each one so it can spin, and tying it if we need to do that. So I'm going to move this one like a little bit more to the right, this one right here, because it's kind of closer than the other ones. And on the bottom I made holes right there for this because it's going to mount like that. So that's what I'm doing right now, just making sure everything is evened out as much as possible. You can use one of these to even it out, or you can use a ruler just to measure how far it is when it comes to the distance. But I made a hole, well, not a hole, but like a line right there, so I can see exactly where the middle is at, so I can align it all correctly. And right below that line is where I wanted it at. Alright guys, so everything is pretty much done for the most part. I just got one more strut that I gotta complete, which is the right side. I gotta take the wheel off and everything. But over here, this side is complete. I already put air in the bag. I went up, so that one's good. Right here, we did the back already. I have this wheel off still. On this side, I went ahead and put the rib nut at the top with the bolt right there. Same thing at the bottom. Got to drill a hole at the bottom and the top in order to finish this side. And then I connected this right here, going to the top. Everything's already tight, good and ready to go. And I have the line right there going through the back. For this setup, I went ahead and ran 2 lines on the back right here. If you remove this piece, there's a grommet right here, so I took that off, made a hole, put it in there. There's another one right here that I made, and the 2 running to the front on the back, so that's all connected, and they're all going through the bottom ones right here. I have an extra line going to the back right here for the exhaust, that way when he airs out it's loud and makes noise. When it comes to the tank, it's connected to this one right here, going down, going through the back, and there's a water trap. So everything is set to go, and the trunk setup came out really nice. Look how sick this looks. I just gotta mount up the water trap somewhere where it looks nice. I'm gonna check with him to see where he wants it. I was thinking about doing it like right here. It's supposed to be facing down so the water can drip down if there's any in there. Because he has a trunk setup, it's a little bit more difficult and you have to measure a lot. Like right here, you can see that all of these came out really even. So it looks nice. This one is a little bit shorter, so I might extend this one out a little bit more than the rest of them. But for the most part, it looks really sick, and I'm really happy with the overall result. You cannot go wrong with an epoxy setup like this. It looks really sick. Just look at everything right there. I made a hole right in the middle over there to run the main line, and you can't even see it because it's like right in there. So for the most part, you can just see like this section right here. And I did run into another issue. For some reason, one of these was stripped, and we got lucky that we had an extra one because Usually finding these type of fittings, they don't really have them in the store sometimes, and you gotta order them specifically, you know, from Airlift and or Bag Riders to be able to get it. If I didn't have this piece, it would have delayed the installation process, you know, for a few days until we got that part that we need, because this doesn't mount directly to this. This is a larger fitting size versus this side in here for the compressor. But yeah, this is how it's looking so far. I'm really happy with how it came out. It looks really sick. The design overall is dope. Like, I wish mine kind of looked like that. I ran into an issue on the front. The thread pitch, when I removed the sway bar link, for some reason was really hard to remove, so it must have been damaged before. But now that I removed it and I'm trying to put it back on, I'm having trouble and I can't, so we have to get a new sway bar link. And the homie's gonna go ahead and get that. Once he gets here, we'll put it on and this will all be complete. Everything else is already ran. Right here you guys can see. Let me see if I can turn my flashlight on. Right there, everything's connected up there. And then here you have the ABS system and then the brake line on this side. The orientation on this has to go this way. Like, you can't mix it up because the other strut, the orientation is different, it's switched. So you have to make sure that you're installing the right one on the right side. So for example, since we're on the right side, this is going to be FR, which it says right there. The other one would be FL. The rear doesn't actually matter because it's the same shit. Like, you don't have to worry about that. But here on the back, I have my line right there connected with a bracket to hold it into place so it doesn't come out. And I have a zip tied right there as well, so that line doesn't come out. So everything is good there. No issues on this, well, with the exception of the sway bar link. We just got to get that. So in order to drop this down really easily and get the strut in there with no issues, you have to remove one of the ends on the sway bar. So I always remove this one, which makes it a whole lot easier. Remove this right here, which is 17, and then the top nuts, which are 12 mils. Once you remove that, it'll just drop right down. So this is really easy. The rear is the most difficult part. I'm not gonna go into too much detail when it comes to the struts because I've done it in multiple videos, and 370Z, 350Z, G337, they're all the same on the rear. When it comes to installing that, you have to make that hole to be able to install it. But everything came out really good. I'm really happy with how this car came out. Everything's perfect with the exception of that, but I mean, it's not a huge issue. We're just gonna have to replace it with a new one. But in this video, I really wanted to talk about the trunk setup. I won't be able to take it out for you guys because, you know, once he gets here, he's going to take the car with him. And I wanted to take it out so I can do a video of the car in a cinematic, but I'll have him send me a few videos. I know he has an Amuse bumper on a 350Z. So that's really sick. You hardly ever see an Amuse bumper on a 350Z. I think you see them all the time with like a 370Z, but a 350Z, you never see it. And it's color matched to the car. But yeah, we'll wait for the homie to get here. I actually wanted to talk about his wheels as well. His wheels are really sick and clean. They are work equips, and it has a gold touch to it with the like dress up bolts right there. Looks really sick. And then it has the chrome on the outside, and then the face is more of like a brush matte finish, so it looks really sick, really clean.
Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and end the video right there. As you guys can see, the trunk setup came out amazing, and hopefully it gives you guys ideas on what you can do to your 350Z, because I know I've done a lot of 370Zs, and the compressors usually go like in the front, you can put them under, and the tank would actually have to go all the way in the back because that's usually where it sits the best.
As where 350Z, you have that strut bar like right in the middle, so it gets in the way. So if you put it in the back, it's not really going to be visible unless you actually peek over there and you look at it. Now where we put it, everything is visible. It's right there in front of you, but it really does eliminate the amount of space that you have in the 350Z. I'll go ahead and leave his Instagram somewhere around here so you guys can go ahead and follow him. One sick 350Z for sure. I think it's one of the cleanest in Arizona. As for the Hot Wheel collection, I did collect a few more. I actually collected quite a few Nissan 240Zs, a few Datsun trucks that are really sick. And one that I really wanted is this one right there. It's the Japan 2 Historics. This one right there. That one I've been looking for, and a lot of people wanted too much for it. I think some people were asking for like the full set. I think it was like upwards of $70 to $80, and I didn't want to pay, you know, that much for it. But I got that one and a few other ones. And then I do want to get rid of a few of my Hot Wheels from the main lines. I want to keep all of these right here, so I'm not giving these away, or I'm not getting rid of these. But I do have a few Hot Wheels over there that I do want to go ahead and get rid of because I have a bunch of duplicates. But I'll show you guys more of my Hot Wheel collection in another video. I think my next one is going to be a short video, so I'll give you guys a walk around of what I have so far in the next one if you guys are interested in the Hot Wheel collection, because I know a lot of you guys are, especially on Instagram. Whenever I post or I find something, I'll put on my story, and a lot of you guys actually like it or respond to it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.